Global climate change and habitat loss, great risk to biodiversity. Biodiversity as the variety of life on Earth. Greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide are being released into the atmosphere at increased rates because of human activities causing global temperature to rise and resulting in long term changes to the climate. Natural habitat loss is continuing relentlessly despite global efforts to stop it. An area of pristine tropical forest the size of Denmark is destroyed every year. Reforestation, the restoration of forests that have recently been lost, could protect biodiversity and help fight global climate change by removing huge amounts of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. But when people plant the wrong trees in the wrong place, it can cause more harm than good. A recent review led by Q scientists and Botanic Garden Conservation International BGCI proposes 10 golden rules for reforestation to boost benefits for people and the planet. Number 1, protect existing forest list. Forest first. Millions of hectares of forest are destroyed every year, leading to huge carbon dioxide emissions that are not easily offset by reforestation. It can take over 100 years for these forests to recover. So it is crucial that we protect what we already have before planting more. To conserve existing forest, governments and corporations should create and enforce more protected areas and legislate against deforestation. At the same time, local efforts could focus on tackling the drivers of deforestation, including fires and overgrazing by livestock. Second, work with local people. It is crucial that local communities are at the heart of reforestation projects. Failing to include them is one of the most common causes of an unsuccessful reforestation project. Not only does working with local people encourage successful long term outcomes for a project, but it also benefits the community by creating employment in land preparation, tree planting, and forest maintenance, and providing opportunities to develop sustainable forest based enterprises. Third, maximize biodiversity recovery to meet multiple goals. A forestation project should aim to achieve multiple goals. These may be reducing carbon emissions, conserving species, providing economic benefits to local communities, or delivering ecosystem services like stable water system. Restoring biodiversity will make it easier to achieve these goals. Long-term restoration of native forest and re-establishing what was there before is far better for recovering biodiversity than just planting fast-growing cultivated trees. Restoring native forest also capture more carbon, boost ecosystem services such as flood prevention, and economically benefits to the community by providing a range of livelihood opportunities such as sustainably harvested forest products and ecotourism. Fourth, select the right area for reforestation. The best place to plant trees is on land which was previously forested. Non forested lands like grassland or wetlands already contribute to capturing carbon, mostly in the soil, so should be avoided. Beware that selecting an area that is already in use for agriculture could result in further deforestation elsewhere. Connecting or expanding reforested sites to an existing forest would help the new forest to regenerate naturally and expand the size of the existing forest, benefiting biodiversity. A reforestation site could also selected based on the ecosystem services to provide such as recreational spaces, wildlife habitats, clean air and shade. Fifth, use natural forest restoration wherever possible. Natural regeneration, natural forestry growth after land is abundant or within a degraded forest can be cheaper and more effective than tree planting. Carbon capture can be 40 times greater in naturally regenerated areas than in plantations. This natural approach works best on highly degraded sites or those close to existing forest that can serve as a source of seeds. Sixth, select tree species that maximize biodiversity. When natural regeneration is not possible and tree planting is needed to restore forest, picking the right tree is crucial. Planting should be done using a mix of species, including as many natives as possible, as well as rare and endangered species where feasible. A mixed species forest will be better at conserving biodiversity, creating habitats for wildlife, attracting seed dispersers and pollinators, and will be more resilient to disease, fire, and extreme weather events. The best trees species to select are those that form beneficial relationship with other living things such as fungi, pollinators, and seed dispersing animals. Invasive species that take over natural habitats, compete with native species, reduce biodiversity, and often lower water availability should be avoided. Seventh, use resilient tree species that can adapt to a changing climate. It is important to use tree seeds or seedling with appropriate levels of genetic diversity to match the region they are planted in and make them suitable for the local or projected climate. This can increase the resilience of the restored forest to pest, disease, and long term environmental change. Eighth, plan ahead. From seed collection to tree planting, it is essential to use appropriate, preferably local infrastructure and seed supply chain. Decision on where seeds or tree will be sourced from and what facilities and protocols will be required for seed banking and propagation should be made well in advance of the start of the project. It is important to provide training for seed collecting, cleaning, and storage equipment and activities and work with local people as they are valuable source of labors and expertise in identifying and locating target trees. Learn by doing. Ninth, before starting a restoration project, existing source of scientific and local knowledge should be consulted to aid decisions like species selection. It is advisable to perform small scale trials prior to applying technique on a large scale. To ensure the right trees are used and to test their effectiveness. Success indicators like the recovery of an endangered species should be monitored regularly to see how well an ecosystem is recovering and allow project manager to adapt accordingly. 10th, make it pay. To ensure the sustainability of reforestation projects, diverse income streams must be generated which benefit different people. These may include carbon credits, a permit that allows a country or organization to produce a certain amount of carbon dioxide emissions which can be traded if not used. Sustainably produced forest products. Ecotourism, a lucrative source of local income that puts a direct value on and monetizes biodiversities. Please subscribe, like, comments, and share if valuable. Thanks.